It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
You decide when you lose, not other people.
And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. Today with Razorfist.
They want to square that circle so airtight that there will be no contrary opinions whatsoever.
And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com. What's going on with that? Stop that music. It's weird. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday to you. I'm Stuttering Craig. What was going on with that? That's weird. Weird. We're adjusting things. We're trying to figure it out, and it clearly did not work out, but that's okay. Glad you guys have found us today. Welcome on out. It's going to be a fun show because we have so much. Listen, you guys are sick of me. Too bad. You're going to see a lot of me today because we got a lot going on. But first and foremost, hello, Blabs.
Can I be sick of you?
No. Listen, there have been days where I'm like, good morning, and I feel like she has no interest in talking to me.
It's kind of true. I'll be very upset about something. Craig will be like, what's the word? I'm like, bird is the word.
Listen, you wouldn't be human if you just didn't have any interest in that. You know what I mean? And that's okay. It's okay.
I still enjoy my job and everything. Don't worry, chat. I'm not actually hating on Craig. I'm just pulling his leg because that's part of the contract. His favorite hemorrhoid.
What?
Pain in the ass.
Okay. All right. Well, that is true. That's very true. Well, there we go. Josiah is on the way today, which is going to be great. It is Tuesday, so Josiah will be joining us on a special fun time. But also, since it is Tuesday, we are joined by our monochromatic brother, Razorfist. Hello, buddy.
Yeah, what in the world? Ladies and gentlemen, we have an historic event here today. We have discovered a passive-aggressive woman.
Yes. For the first time ever, we have found it.
What? Mark the date, folks.
Right.
August 6th, 12:06 p.m.
Why'd you have to cut that song off?
It's in my ears. It was like bouncing. Didn't?
Oh no! So what happened? It wasn't bouncing. I also muted at the same time you did, which is why it bounced. But you were underwater. The mixer did it. So that's why I was giving you a thumbs down.
Yeah, you're always underwater when that happened. You should just shut up and let the song play. That song.
You should just have an automatic intro, like where it talks over you and you just mime.
I'll just take it. It's Megaman music. That song hits harder than Ike Turner.
Dude, hey, let me tell you what. When you talk about like Mega Man X music, there's several wonderful themes that I love, right? One theme that does not get brought up enough. Well, I'll say it first. Let's open this to you, Razor, and to the chat as we're going to start with hardcore video games. Off the top of your head, best like Mega Man theme in general. Do you have a favorite?
Ooh, Snake Man, Gravity Beetle. Oh my God, it goes on and on and on. There's so many good ones.
Dude, yes. Okay.
Flashman. I mean, just banger after banger after. Mega Man 3 was just Get Weapon. Just the Get Weapon song, for crying out loud, from Mega Man 3. Right? No. Right? Like, what in the world?
Man, I'll tell you what. So I didn't even get to Mega Man X3, right? I like
missing out.
Well,
you get to play as Zero.
I learned last night that Mega Man X3 was also on, not just on the Super Nintendo, it was on like the Saturn and the PlayStation. I didn't know that. I thought it was
bad anime cutscenes, bro. They're amazingly awful.
Dude, and I watched them. I like watching like comparison videos from back in the day where people take gameplay from the 16-bit and they show like the 32-bit comparison, right? And they have them like side by side. You kind of see the difference between the two games. The gameplay itself wasn't that different outside of Mega Man X3 in particular being a little squished, I think, on the Saturn compared to the Super Nintendo. But this is the theme to me. Like, I think this theme is phenomenal. The Blizzard Buffalo theme.
yeah.
Do you hear this like at all? This is great. Blabs, you've never heard this before. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Imagine just a ice cold level, right? Traversing through dangerous environments. Okay, just listen. Okay, here we go. Let's get about 30 seconds of this.
Sounds like the opening to like a Beatles song or something. Like I don't know, something about it. All these are inspired by rock songs.
Yeah.
These soundtracks are all great, dude.
Oh, it's awesome.
They're all great.
It has this like it has like an isolated sound to it here with this intro here.
It is interesting, yeah. Like a lot of like ice levels don't sound like ice levels in games. A lot of times, that one does. But so does for Mega Man X1, Chill Penguin.
Oh yeah, Chill Penguin's great.
Not as good as this, but it's still really good.
Yeah, they always have that high pitchy sound, like with Chill Penguin, or it's either very high or it's very, very, very low and isolating. And that's how I feel about that stage in particular. Yeah. Labs, your first time hearing that, did you have any? Like I said, I tried to set.
You couldn't hear it very well, but
okay.
I mean, no, I heard it, but you know what? You guys are gonna think I'm really weird for this,
but
I think of I can't pronounce his last name right, but Michael Giacchino, I think his last name is. He's a huge composer. He's done lots of music like Star Trek.
He's usually like what, really fat or
Ratatouille, but it reminded me of like the Ratatouille music when like not Remy, what's his name, is running around. It kind of has that vibe a little bit.
Well, it definitely has a kind of a discovery vibe for me, and that song in particular. As somebody who, like I said, I missed out on Mega Man X3, but when I hear a banger, man,
that was my third ever video. On
really, Mega Man X3
review of Mega Man X3, because that's my favorite one in the whole series. It's really good.
All right, man, get in on that zero action there. You can stab people with the laser swords,
but don't die because you'll never get them back.
Is that what happens in the game?
Yeah, dude, it's brutal.
Wow.
You can play as Zero, but don't mess up.
That's great. I love that. That's very cool. Very cool. Speaking of very cool, we have another guest today joining us here on this wonderful Tuesday. We're going to be joined by our friend Josiah from Josiah Rises. Great to see you, buddy.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
I need to put on
the shades, but
like my laser shades.
Hey, I'm just trying to be as cool as Razor Fist. You know what I'm saying? So
it is Sunglasses Tuesday.
Well, you tried.
You tried. I need to see if I can find him. Well,
yeah, sorry, I'm running late. I had a bit of a family thing come up, so but I'm here. So
we are glad you're here for sure.
Just leave the corpse on the side of the road. It's no big deal. This podcast's more important.
That's right.
That is true. That is true. I'll remember that for next time, because I'm sure there'll be another corpse very soon. There always is, right? There's always a corpse
didn't
to
you
deal
kill
with.
Mike, or Mike killed you? I can't remember anymore.
Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah, Mike killed me. Yeah.
All right, so lots of corpses.
Well,
yeah.
As long as you're here, maybe Mike, whatever. As long as you're here, it's good.
Well, all you have to do is just get back up. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Put some Windex on it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were talking Mega Man X music to start the show. Josiah, do you have a preference when it comes to Mega Man themes, or just Mega Man X themes, or do you have any interest in Mega Man at all?
I have never played Mega Man before.
Ow! What? No. I'm just kidding.
There's two of me now.
Okay, that's fine.
There are definitely two women on the stream now.
Yeah, myself and Razor Fist without the hair.
Just say I abstain from that, and that's fine.
I was too busy playing other games,
like Zoo Tycoon.
The beautiful thing about video games is, and this is pop culture as a whole, and we talked about having everyone has blind spots, right? Blabs' blind spot is all Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies, right? Mine was and continues to be Lord of the Rings.
And also driving her is a blind spot for her.
What do you mean? I've never gotten a ticket in my life.
But you've run into a lot of things. It's
Yeah,
I thought you watched Lord of the Rings, Craig.
you don't get a ticket if you crash into someone necessarily.
Yeah.
I haven't crashed into anything.
Blind spot. That's good.
Give it time.
Fix my blind spot.
I'm actually a really good driver. I can drive a big ton truck and a 10-wheeler, and I can hitch a gooseneck trailer under a minute.
Yeah, Tonga or Fisher Price.
I don't believe you, Blabs.
Dodge dualies.
I love
2015.
Here's the thing about that, Blabs, is that most people who are bad drivers think they're good drivers. That's that's the horrible thing about it.
I'm driving all of you guys to Walmart one day, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, well, if we hit a few things along the way, we won't hold it against you.
Yeah, there's Josiah's bodies that he's throwing on the road.
That's right.
If I see you driving a truck, I'm driving as far away as possible. So
this is some sexism in gaming. Where's Frost?
Yeah, where's Frost? Where's he at? Well, I'll tell you what. Look, we're gonna have a great show today. We have a lot to talk about. We have an insane streamer with just probably one of the dumbest takes I've ever seen. We got a lot to talk about today. And on top of this, I do need to remind everybody, coming up today at 3:00, so in about about 4 hours from now, 3 hours and 45 minutes, I'm going to be doing a little chit chat with a former EA and Microsoft. This is like the triple decker here. He worked for EA, Microsoft, and Wizards of the Coast. Right, he worked for all of those companies, and he recently retired. And wants to tell.
I would retire too if I had to work for those three companies. Jesus.
Well, he's been around for a long time, and he's been there from the beginning of the industry all the way up until recently. And we're gonna talk about the changes that he saw that he's seen in the culture in the gaming space, and the insanity and the infection that is taking place inside the video game world. So we're gonna have him on a little bit later on. That'll be a special edition today at 3:00 Central. So make sure you guys are here for that. It's going to be really, really important. So, and really, really fun show. So special edition today at 3:00. Make sure you guys tune in for that. But with that said, we are live this morning over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Do us a favor, hit the follow button over there. If you guys like freedom and free speech and all that fun stuff. And Rumble's a great place to find us, which is great as we continue to grow. We also have an X account where you could have found out that Josiah and Razor were going to be on the show simply by following us over at x.com/sidescrollerpod. We also have an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
We do, so follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, Josiah's going to throw your dead body on the road.
Oh, shit.
True.
There we go.
There's photos of me in a nut hammock. It's fine. That's fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Nut hammocks. Let's go.
Spicy.
The first time I heard nut hammock today, which is good.
The first of many. Don't worry about it.
Hey, speaking of nut hammock, do you see that pole vaulter? We talked about it yesterday. Do you see that pole vaulter, Razor?
Oh no! Did his brain escape?
No, his big junk got in the way, and he lost a medal for it.
Yes!
Oh, kitty!
I think he really is the gold medalist, though. At that point,
exactly. If you're packing that big, congratulations.
It was
also there's a little pussycat. Oh no, bring it back.
A little whatty cat.
Little pussycat.
Okay,
it's so
good.
cute. It's
Hello,
gray.
His name is Rocket, and his name fits him perfectly. He is a crazy little kitty.
He's his roomies.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, the one guy who doesn't have a crazy little kitty is that pole vaulter. Yeah.
I don't know. It's 2024.
Maybe he does. Maybe he identifies as
Well, after that, he definitely is going to have a crazy little kitty.
Yeah. Well, he's a pole vaulter, not a female boxer.
That's right. He's not boxing, not looking to win a medal. We also have a Kick account where you can find us over there, and you can listen to the show over on Apple Podcast and Spotify, which is great. And of course, you can find us over at sidescrollerspodcast.com. I mentioned the interview with the former EA, Microsoft, Wizards of the Coast employee. We are going to start that over on all of our traditional outlets, over here on YouTube, over on local, over on Rumble, and we're going to finish over on locals. So we're going to start on everywhere, then we're going to finish over on locals. So make sure you guys head over to locals. You can easily find it by going to sidescrollerspodcast.com. Make an account. It is free. If you want to support, you can. But we're going to make the second half of that conversation available exclusively over to locals, as we're going to continue to grow that over there. But if you are new to us over here on YouTube, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button and join the 90,700 just normal men looking for common sense in the video game space so we continue to grow and entertainment space. Let's do our best to get to 1,000 likes and 25 memberships for the day. And my, oh my, are we off to a kick-ass start as CR Vox has come in with 20 gifted memberships to start the show. Holy crap. If you guys got gifted memberships, make sure you guys say thank you to CR Vox for that incredible generosity. Let's paint that chat green today, y'all. That is outstanding. Thank you very much for that. Also, not to be outdone, Elite Neo came in with a $50. Hey, Josiah, you know what happened? There it is right there with the $50. Ooh, super chat says
those definitely cost more than $50.
I came back and wow, nice.
We've gone back and forth. We've had a very interesting conversation about whether those are real or not. And
yeah, what does Josiah think? We'll do the one version so you can have a real good look.
Any thoughts on that? Real or fake?
Those definitely aren't real. No.
Ha!
No.
Don't ha me. I don't know. Anyway, Felicio says hot take: as catchy as the Wily theme, Wily Stage 1 and 2 themes are for Mega Man 2 was. It's got nothing on the Sigma Stage 1 theme from Mega Man X. Oh, yeah. The somber and serious tone of that song hits hard and made you realize playtime was over and you were on a mission. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Now we're talking. I love, man, I'm telling you, just as much as we need like a Norm Macdonald theme show, we need to do a Mega Man X music retrospective where we just sit down and we talk about how great Mega Man X music is. It's you know,
Spark Mandrill, bro. Spark Mandrill.
Volt
the Catfish, most ridiculous name ever, but Volt Catfish.
Volt Catfish.
Yeah. By the way, here is the Sigma Stage 1 theme right here.
Oh yes. Storm Eagle.
Like it's go time, baby.
Oh yeah.
Elite Neo, thank you for that. All right. Like, yeah, it starts off like, it's time to.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
Never heard it before, but it's good.
You know what's even better? And I actually use the stage select music for Sigma. I think that's probably my favorite theme of all. And like, I've tried to find a way to incorporate this theme into it. Here you go. Listen to this.
I've used that every time I do, and I need to start doing this again. I used to do top 5 turds of the preceding year whenever we would hit New Year's.
Nice.
I'm really glad you finished that sentence.
And so, what do you think? It's like 2 girls, 1 razor fist? What is that? Anyway.
No, you just said like top 5 turds. I'm like, you keep track of your turds. Anyway.
So I don't have that much time on my hands. So we would, between selecting, 5, doing the countdown thing, like you guys did, we ripped you off. We ripped Screw Attack off.
Yeah.
So we would have the Mega Man stage select.
Look
and
at
so
Josiah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh. I'm just picturing Razorfist just taking a picture of every shit that he has and just killing me.
You got to make sure you're getting enough fiber.
He's like, wow, look at the size of that one.
It's important.
Listen,
you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Colorectal cancer is on the rise, folks.
Listen, have you really lived until you've gotten up, turned around, and been like, all right.
That came out of me? Holy crap!
Wow, that's a solid consistency.
This shit curves to the left a little bit. Wow.
No, man, I will not rest. I will not rest until a fully cooked baguette just slides on out.
What is this?
You started, Abs.
I know. What have I done?
You did this.
I imagine Razorfist has like a measuring tape in his bathroom 24/7 and goes, I beat yesterday's.
I resent your invasion of my privacy, Blab.
He's got like a scale.
Well, look, we're gonna have a great show today, guys. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get to 1,000 today. It's always our goal, which is great as we continue to grow a little bit more every single day. As we're gonna get to some support right off the bat. You guys are very into this Megaman X conversation, which I'll tell you what, man, music, it brings out a special side of people. I love it. So maybe we'll do that. But AZ came in and says 2024 is crazier than 2016 by a country mile. Yes, 1,000%. And it's only going. By the way, 91 days till the election. You want to know how I know that? Yeah. Because yesterday, my brother and I made a bet. My brother and I looked at my brother because it was his birthday. We were hanging out, and we realized that we're both fat and we need to lose about 30 pounds. And we made a bet about who can lose the most weight between now and the election, November 5th, November 6th, November 5th. So it's 91 days. So
if the economy keeps going the way it goes, I think you'll lose the weight anyway, pal.
And we'll be able to eat. So we'll see how that goes. But
we wind up with the Ugandan giant Kamala. It'll be different.
Yikes. Normal man says, why is Blaz pulling Craig's leg? Where is she pulling it to? Guam? The world needs to know. Norm, just relax. Yes, she's Guamanian. We know this. Nick came in and says, hey guys, what do you think of do you think that the 7th console generation was peak of gaming? So many great games from that era. Is that the 360 era?
360, yeah. I think 6th was OG Xbox, PS2, right? Yeah. No, I think it did, and if you look commercially at it, that's when kind of the number of games every year spiked and whatever. And yet the industry hadn't completely jumped off the casualization cliff and started, running after Mormon soccer mom dollars, like just money that you're never going to get. And so kind of what we're dealing with today with like Forspoken and whatnot. We weren't there yet. So the games were still good and they were selling more than they ever had. I think that's fair to say.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting is we're at a point now to where the 360 is looked back as like extremely nostalgic, right?
It had a lot of good games.
Yeah. And there was, when you look at the pricing, some of the indie games were like between 99 cents and $4.99, right? And there was you'd see a strong digital title was like $20. Games were between $50 and $60. But it was when the digital marketplace was kind of just getting going. So there's a lot of unknowns still. But
horse armor, Craig. Horse armor.
Horse armor. What do you speak of, Razor?
You don't know about horse armor, Craig?
I'm trying to. Please fill me back.
Bethesda popped everyone's DLC cherry with Oblivion. They charged $15 for horse armor. Remember that?
I remember when DLC was first becoming a thing. And this was, 2006, 2007 or so, right? And having the conversation on side scrollers at the time about like, I think DLC is going to be a really big part of the video games. Like, and here we are, 20 years later, and it's like that's all video games is. You release these unfinished products with a roadmap of something that may potentially happen. And by the way, we're going to charge you for that as well. So
you get a Blu-ray disc that holds like 60 gigs on it, and it's got like 20 kilobytes of information. The rest you download from the internet.
Yep,
right? That's where we're at.
Yep. Mazda Total Turbo Virgin came in with the flag. Says, "Hey Craig, what's your opinion of the Power Glove? I'm a connoisseur of plastic products and would like to add this to my collection of for research purposes." I'm guessing that's kind of a troll thing, but if you want my real opinion, is that it was very neat for the time, but it didn't work. So it was. I
used it one time at my friend's house. We were trying to play. I tried to play Ultima with the Power Glove.
Ooh.
I don't even know. It did not work. It did not work, bro.
The way I used the Power Glove was actually, it was like, an actual glove, right? But on the side of it was an actual controller.
Right.
And
the actual controller didn't work.
I would just play with the controller as best as I could. And it's a really obtuse, just gross thing. We got this. AC says, Razor coming in with the heat today and the poop jokes, which is great. Indeed. Thank you very much. Also, Clemson says Josiah greater than Mazda. There we go. Thanks, Clemson. Appreciate that. Well established. Everybody is
A
apparently.
pretty fucking low bar. So I mean,
An elite Neo came into the show. The Mega Man 2 soundtrack is still a banger, though. In fact, I just emailed you a cover of the stage select theme you may like. Check it out. All right, Elite Neo. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That is awesome. We got a lot of super chats, a lot of direct donations, and we'll get to every Rumble rant. But before we do, we have to get to today in video game history. Blaz, what do we have today?
Well, apparently it's not up to Craig's standards already, I've been informed. But August 6th is Metroid Japan's release in 1986. He's clapping. Okay, that's a good one. WWF Attitude was released back in 1999.
I love this game.
I just see a bunch of steel clapping behind me. And then Oktoberfest, which I've tried to find gameplay footage of this or like a trailer from Nintendo DS, but it doesn't exist. But because there was boobs on the screen, I thought I just would add it anyway. So Oktoberfest, the official game, released back on Nintendo DS in 2009, and I have absolutely no idea what this game is about, but there you go.
Okay.
I feel so old. I remember reading every new preview about WWF Attitude in every magazine I possibly could. That game's underrated too. It's really underrated.
It was like a fun arcade game. I actually remember playing it in the arcade when it came. It was the one that came out on the Dreamcast as well, correct?
Yes. It was never in arcades. It was a home console game. That was one of the first games that really had a create a wrestler mode.
Okay.
And it's a deeper create a wrestler mode than a lot of new games too. Like it was super, super deep, the customization and stuff that you could do in that game. It was a freaking killer game.
Okay, I think I'm getting my gains messed up. My gains messed up here because there was
WrestleMania. Yeah, there's like WrestleMania came out in arcades. That was like the Mortal Kombat game.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Royal Rumble. That's the one I was thinking of. Royal Rumble was the one I played in the arcades, which was great. Okay, so a couple quick talking points here, based off today in video game history. First, let's talk about the games that Blabs missed. Okay, because
I'm so shocked.
Because
we've heard herstory. Now let's hear history.
Blabs chose to put Oktoberfest for the Nintendo DS, a game released in 2009, which has no gameplay at all, which I appreciate the sentiment there, Blabs. But in choosing Oktoberfest, which was released for the Nintendo DS in 2009, she chose to bypass such noticeable titles like Secret of Mana.
Listen, Secret of Mana, titties. You pick.
Like Secret of Mana, released in 1993, all-time favorites. Rocket Knight Adventures.
Oh also, my God.
Yeah.
To be fair, I try not to pick as many Japanese titles for one day, and Oktoberfest was American.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
There's my liable excuse.
Are you blaming jingoism, Blabs?
Yeah.
That's right. I do appreciate the WWF Attitude, but you can see Shenmue 2.
Bro, Jagged Alliance 2? Like what? There's huge games that came out of, oh my God.
Yeah, so lots of games here, which is always fun just to kind of see, Blabs' list versus reality, her story versus his.
Excuse me, a reality? Those are all reality. Those are all published today over the time. There's nothing fake. I just thought I'd pick boobs for you all. I'm sorry for thinking about the men.
Yeah, no. We appreciate that, Blabs. That's what ready banger picks today. That's right. Way to go. Way to go.
You wanna trigger Jim Cornette fanboys, by the way, at the end of the WWF Attitude credits. It says special thanks to Vince Russo at the very
wow.
end. Wow. Yeah, that'll piss off the Cornette fanboys in the internet marks.
One other quick talking point about today in video game history. We mentioned Metroid. Obviously, I love Metroid games. I've always enjoyed the Metroid series. Blabs, this is actually noticeable, and very noticeable and notable when it comes to why Metroid is considered a big deal today. And I'll tell you this right now. This was not a big deal when it happened in 1986. It was meant to be a shocker, but I don't remember this being a big deal at all. Okay. But at the end of Metroid, it is discovered that the player that you're playing as is a female. And that was the big shocker at the end. Samus Aran. And here's what it looked like at the very end of the game. So as you're going, it's like you won. Congratulations. It gives you some screen and then teleports. And this is what happens when you do a really poor job. There's actually multiple endings. But this one here pops off and you see, I believe her helmet is off. And you go, what? Okay, no, that's just waving here. Let's see. Then there's this one. Let's see. There we go. This one. And you see, oh my gosh, it's a girl for the first time.
Now, did they confirm it's a girl, or was it just really progressive for their time?
Okay. It was a girl.
It could be Glenn Hughes. It could be freaking Jimmy Page. It could be a rock guy. Who knows?
Well, it is confirmed. If you beat the game in under an hour, you get this. Samus.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, this was a very big deal back in the day. Or like I would say, once again, I don't think it even was a big deal back in the day. But I think over the last 30 plus years, people have pointed to this and been like, look what Nintendo did. And this was such a great triumph. And like it was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. And then everyone went on to play other games. And it was like, all right, cool. It wasn't like some great feminist moment or anything. It was like, okay.
Right. Well, what was Super Mario Brothers 2, where you could play as the princess? Was that a triumph for feminism? What was that?
Absolutely. You know that. For the first time ever, you can play as the princess. She could float.
I've always wanted to be a princess, so yes.
You are a princess, Flap. You are a princess.
Of Guam.
Guam.
Fat princess from last week. I'm kidding.
Oh, no. Oh boy.
I'm kidding.
You're very lucky you're on the other side of the screen right now.
All right. We got a lot to talk about. We're already 30 minutes in. We appreciate all y'all's support, including John Condry, who came in with the $10 direct donation. Says, personal favorite Mega Man X game is Boomer Kawanger stage, in my opinion.
Ooh, that's good.
This goes back to what exactly is a Boomer Kawanger?
I don't know. I see him post on Twitter all the time now.
It's nonstop, that Boomer Kawanger. All right, let's get into it. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. All right, Blabs had this one right off the bat. This is quite interesting. I haven't even read much about this at all outside of this tweet, which I think really tells you most of what you actually need to know. This is from Dexerto. Nvidia is one of the top stocks in the stock market, and it has been for a while. Right.
Up until a couple of hours ago.
Yeah. How's the market doing, by the way? Is it recovered at all today?
I just put a rant out, and as of the moment I recorded it, which was at about 9 last night, Nvidia was down 6.5% or something. Like, it was down by that's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, it's historically, I'd say in the last 5-6 years ago, it's been a power stock, but they are a technology company, and they have revealed, this is crazy, but at the same time, I guess makes sense. They have revealed they have scraped 80 years worth of YouTube videos a day to help train AI. So they're just scraping all sorts of information and watching these videos literally faster than you could potentially absorb them as we go along here. Y'all's thoughts on this? The idea of training AI from YouTube videos and specifically getting 80 years worth of data in one day.
Joke's on them. Most of the garbage on YouTube today is AI anyways. Like, what is this? What is this, like AIception?
Yeah, or it's approved talking points, so it's not exactly learning anything if it's all just one side and not even the truth. So what is AI learning? Nothing.
How many different languages can you say? You know, rate, comment, and subscribe. Like, it's
click the like button.
Every YouTube video is like standardized now, because otherwise you get demonetized or deranked, or the algorithm, you know, jungles you in the ass, and that's just kind of how that goes. So I don't really see the point of this. What are they hoping to accomplish with that? Well, to make their AI more lifelike? I don't. You're definitely not going to get that on a YouTube commentator.
Well, what's interesting about this, and this is actually a really good point here. So AI companies are scraping data from music and books and videos. How is that not piracy?
How is that not illegal? Well, I mean, this is the classic. There's been a whole debate over this. Like, is AI even AI? Isn't it mostly just a giant remix machine? That is, there's been a huge debate over that. Like, is AI art just stolen art, kind of remixed from other people? And there's a very real debate over that.
Josiah, you're obviously, you have your initiatives, your company that you're building. What are your thoughts on AI when it comes to movies and you just leveraging AI? Do you see it as a tool or do you see it as a threat?
I definitely see it more as a tool than a threat. I know that there's a lot of people that, I think that Hollywood especially has a lot of pretty, to be honest, like, even I think that Hollywood would love to use AI to like write scripts, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they've already done that. Like, Ant-Man 3 literally felt like it was written by AI. I'm like, that movie straight up felt like that. It was just put into a program and they spat out a script and that's what they used. It was really, really bad. But and obviously that's what a lot of the strikes were about from last year and stuff was because of concerns about AI. I think that AI is absolutely something that can be used, and I think that you'd be foolish not to use it because it's inevitable, and if you don't use it to some extent, then you're going to get left behind. And so like for Epicverse, like we plan on using AI as more of like a supplementary tool more than a replacement for people. Like we don't use it to like write scripts or anything like that, but if we have like a visual effect that we're looking for or something, we can use AI to create that visual effect or something along those lines. We use AI a little bit for like for infrastructure stuff and scheduling and some of that type of stuff, but we never have looked at AI as a way to replace humans, because at the end of the day, art is always going to come best from humans and not from a robot. And so we just use it as more of like a tool in that regard more than anything else. And I think that's kind of the best way to look at AI. It's like, how can we use it to actually benefit humanity instead of replacing humanity? So yeah. So when I see stuff like this, I'm not surprised, because we're going to just continue to see more and more of this type of stuff. Like, AI is going to be rampant, and I don't know exactly how that's going to. I'm just like thinking like 10 years from now, like the state of AI is going to be ridiculous, and I don't know what that's going to look like for humans, and it's an interesting conversation for sure. So
I think that even since this show has started, we've seen AI improve, not like exponentially, but like exponentially, right? Like, it's crazy to see. And the idea that you can scrape 80 years worth of videos a day. People say, well, YouTube's not even 80 years old, but the amount of data that is being pushed onto YouTube every second is years and years and years worth of data, because there's such a huge user base. That's how you get 80 years worth of videos. It's not like we're scraping, and they mean in actual time itself, not 2006 to 2024 time. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. But Nvidia, the idea of scraping that data from, like, they could be taking this show and scraping. They probably have scraped.
They are, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, 80 years really isn't that much for YouTube. Like,
hey.
Like it was like in 2022 they came out with a report, and there was like I think like 500 hours of video that was uploaded every minute to YouTube.
80 years. What is that, like one EFAP stream?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So the hours of I'm pulling this up from Statista. The hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute. This is as of February 2022. 500 hours of video uploaded every minute as of 2022. So every single minute, 500 hours. That's crazy. It's crazy to think about. Well, anyways.
So how many hours are in 80 years?
great question. Blabs, can you do some math?
I'm a woman, not Asian, just woman.
Let me go ask ChatGPT, another AI program.
Go ask ChatGPT about that. Okay, let's go and move on to another quick hit here. This was kind of interesting to see, and if you saw me react a couple minutes ago, it's because I was doing some research while Josiah was talking for this next story. But this came out from EA Star Wars just a few minutes ago, that the critically acclaimed Star Wars Jedi Survivor is coming to Xbox One and PlayStation 4 September 17th, 2024. Blabs, why did you think this was funny?
Okay, so this game, which I can't remember when it actually launched of this year, or was it the end of last year? At this point, it's all blurring together.
Right.
But this game, sorry?
April of 2023.
Okay, so over a year ago, it failed so badly that EA was like, sorry, we know this is terrible upon launch, but here you go, have it anyway. And they purposely were saying, no, this is for the next-gen consoles, PlayStation 5, the latest Xbox console. They were purposely not doing it for the previous ones because it wouldn't be able to work on the old ones because of how much graphics and everything. It just wasn't working. But now they're like, we got it, Joe. We did it. We're going to release it on PlayStation 4 and the older Xboxes. And it's like, will it run? This is a stupid idea. It's like
Cash grab.
It 100% is, but it's like, will this run? Will it actually work? What will it look like on these old gens? And you even think about it, like, even on the Switch, it's like, how is that going to run? If it even is on the Switch, I don't know. But it's like trying to put these really, really high graphic video games onto a Switch or an old gen. It's not going to work the way you think it's going to work. Yeah. I just think it's funny.
No, you see this with certain games where they have to hedge their commercial bets and release on last-gen. We saw some of this when the 360 era, PS3 era was jumping over to the PS4 era, where there were a number of games where it was like they were hedging their commercial bets, and the games were usually bad. The one that I'm thinking of, because I'm a big Thief fan, is Thief 4. That game was, they released a 360 version of that where all the textures looked like chewing gum. the one benefit was because the textures were so compressed and blurry and nasty, the loading times were like half a second. So it was way better than the PS4 version in that sense, from a gameplay standpoint. But otherwise, it looked terrible. It looked like it should be running on your phone. So you definitely see this whenever a game that they needed to sell millions upon millions and millions of copies just doesn't. And so they'll try and find other alternate platforms to release it on. Or they'll release it on Steam and heavily discount it. But from what I hear, this game still doesn't run on Steam, right? On PC, this game still runs like hot steaming garbage.
Well, what's interesting about this is, as I was doing some digging, this was, now you say to yourself, Blabs, you say this game failed, right?
I mean, listen, it did well because it's a Star Wars video game, but upon launch, it was a bad launch. It was broken for a while.
And that's when you make most of your profit. That does need to be said. There are games that can sell millions and millions of copies over the years, but those are discounted copies. You're basically like later on down the road, you're using that money to fund other projects. You have what's called a profitability window, and it can vary, but it's usually between 1 and 2 months for a new game when it comes out. And that's when you're going to make your profit. If you don't make it by then, that's why Metal Gear Solid 5 is a financial failure. They weren't able to sell the 5 million copies they needed to in the 2 months of profitability window they had. It took them months and months and months to hit that threshold, by which point Konami were pissed at Kojima and they fired him. And we all know that drama. So speaking of the sales, so it was the #1 game that was sold, according to this article. It was the best-selling game of April of 23. Right now, it was also released late in April 2023. So in a very short time, it kind of peaked up, right? Because it's a Star Wars game, people were excited about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and it became the number one game. Now, they don't tell you how many units it sold, right? Never do. But what I thought that was interesting as I was going through this article, right? This it says Circana, formerly the MPD Group, and this is the group that measures the sales for video games,
provided the April 2023 results in a video game hardware and software sales for 2023. And it talks about here, it says, per the latest report from this company, executive director shared this via tweet. So I went to go like look for this tweet, and I was like, you're unable to view this. And apparently I'm blocked by this guy. Like, I don't even know who this guy is.
Who is he?
He's the executive director of this.
That's hilarious, though.
You know what you did, Craig.
Apologize to Matthew.
No.
Like, what'd I even do?
So anyways,
send him a fruit basket, Craig.
Maybe I should. That'd be nice. Well,
from the look of him, you are what you eat. But anyway,
so anyways, good for Matt over there, Matt Piscatella. You really got me. I can't see sales figures for video games. I just, that's fine.
They don't have to report them. That has always driven me nuts. By the way, what other entertainment industry doesn't have to report any sales? They have to at least report phony ticket sales in Hollywood. The video game industry is just like, trust us, it was successful.
Right. The video game industry, and I try to explain this to anybody who doesn't really know. It is one of the most broken industries, like psychologically and business wise, from like possibly on earth. It is so unbelievably broken. And you try to explain this to just the person outside of the sphere, and they don't understand the reach of the video game industry, the impact of the video games has on culture. Just, you see little things like this, like you're talking about, the idea of like, well, yeah, it did great. Trust us. It did really great. Just there's a lot of trust me, bro, when it comes to the video game industry, for sure.
I just want to point out I'm not blocked.
Oh, thanks. Well, hopefully it was good. Hopefully
I'll be honest, it's just a bunch of numbers and things.
That is the idea.
I don't know. Some kind of runic system. I'm not sure. I don't
know this stuff, guys.
Sly came in and says, Razor spot on Steam. Star Wars Survivor sits at 67%. Patch support ended October 23rd, and since then it sits there technically broken. Wow. Thanks, Sly. Appreciate that. Blaz, will you do a quick glance on Steam charts to see what Star Wars Survivor, what their player count looks like right now?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Josiah came and says, what were we saying on the back end here in the chat?
Yeah, so 80 years is about 700,800 hours of YouTube videos, which is like one day of like YouTube videos that are being uploaded. So, wow. Yeah. So
nice.
I have these stats for Star Wars Jedi Survivor on Steam charts. Only 1,494 playing an hour ago.
Well, let me just say this. That is killing Suicide Squad right now.
That is true. Yeah.
Absolutely decimating all those games. So good for Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Good job, EA.
That's
With
right.
a license of how many years you put out? 4 video games? 5?
4, 5. All right. Let's go to I saw this. This is interesting. Razor, I'm sure you partake in some Game Informer over the years, over its 33 years. Game Informer? Yeah. What about you, Josiah? Did you ever get on the Game Informer world?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I dabbled.
So Game Informer, obviously the magazine that was owned by GameStop for a long time. They just kind of up and kind of shut everything down on Friday, which, if you're going to shut things down, usually Friday is the right time to do it. You don't want to do it like on a Wednesday. You do it on a Friday, pay people through the week, and then you shut it down. Well, they went in and they like shut down their website, put out a post on X, and it was people criticized it for being very impersonal and kind of AI written, just kind of like generic corporate speak. If you go to GameInformer.com right now, and this is a story that's, we're going to get to why I want to talk about this today. Yes, it was done. They said, after 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, The passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being a part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end.
Brings a tear to my glass eye.
Yes, it was a sad day. So people saw that and they were like, yo, that's kind of impersonal. And you just kind of like a generic, like 33 years into about 100 words. All
Fuck
right.
you!
Kind of what it felt like, right?
Yeah. Wow.
The X account for Game Informer had the exact same thing posted on it.
Yeah.
Until somebody who had access to the Game Informer account actually went in and made a genuine goodbye post. And they went in and they kind of posted really quick. This was yesterday, I believe. It says our 33-year legacy deserves a genuine goodbye, written by a former Game Informer member. We're heartbroken by the shutdown of our publication, yet we leave with pride knowing we poured everything we had into it. In the words of our editor in chief, be well, play well. So they included everything here. They included, the people behind it and everything like that. And guess what happened as soon as that was posted? They literally, GameStop literally went in
shit.
and closed the entire account.
Damn.
Wow.
Closed the entire Game Informer account.
Bro. That is so just.
But couldn't just leave it? Just log out?
So great.
That is Game Informer in a nutshot right there. Like, it's just. I've contended this for years. Game Informer is like patient zero for the plague of just modern games journalism.
Yeah, you think so?
Absolutely. I don't think any single publication contributed more to skew. You know how we have like a 1 to 10 scale for games, for the quality of games or whatever? And at some point, a bad game became a 6 out of 10.
Yes.
And a great game that they got paid for usually is a 10. Mm-hmm. Right. That's the scale. Game Informer are 100% to blame for that. 100%. I remember I picked. So I did a series called the Downfall of Gaming Journalism series that kind of presaged Gamergate, and I did an episode on Game Informer, and I picked a random issue from December of 2009. So this is because of when this is published. This is after the holiday season, so there's no good games that come out in a December issue. Right. This should be a bet, and it was 2009. A year where the industry lost 31% of its revenue year over year. Like, not exactly a banner year. So I picked this random issue out of December, a bad month in a bad year, and I couldn't find one game that got a score lower than a 5.5. And that's Game Informer. That is Game Informer in a nutshell. They were owned by GameStop. They were first carried by GameStop, then they were owned by GameStop, then they were published by GameStop. And GameStop stood to profit from them giving games higher scores. So that's exactly what they did. They skewed their entire scale, and the entire industry followed them because they were the #1 video gaming publication. I truly believe they were patient zero of that phenomenon.
That's interesting to think about. You hit on something which I think a lot of people will talk about is the kind of the trophy generation nature of. So everybody gets a trophy nowadays. Everybody, blah, 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 right? And when you talk about a scale that is originally 1 to 10, and then it's more or less 6 to 10, right? You might as well just do 1 to 5 because you're cutting out first 1 through 5. And you just got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is definitely something to that. You've seen this across society as a whole, right? The thing that, to bring it to sports, I like the NBA. I like watching the dunk contest, and they don't give out 1s anymore for missed dunks. They give out a 6. That's like the lowest score that you can give. How do you give out a 6 for something that didn't happen?
You're right.
It's give it a 0, give it a 1. It clear, but everybody's ego is so fragile. And you're right. It served GameStop best interest to keep publishers, developers happy. Well, your game had issues, but it wasn't really that bad. Josiah, do you see this in the movie industry a lot when it comes to review scores and such, just placating to stay in the good graces, the Axis media things.
Yeah, especially with oh dude, like critics are ridiculous. There's only like maybe 2 genuine critics that are out there, if that. Jeremy Johns is like the only one that I think can actually be honest a lot of times, and a lot of time, like even Chris Stuckman, right? Like he was he's been a reviewer on YouTube for years and years and years. And he refused to review Madam Web when that movie came out because he was like, I'm going to be too hard on this movie and I don't want to give it a bad score. So I'm just not going to review it. Like that is just pathetic. So yeah, I think that a lot of the critics out there are, they're trying to keep in the good graces of the system, and they'll do whatever they can to get invited to those special parties. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all over cooking. What's that?
Little spirit cooking?
Yeah. Yeah. Little baby consumption, no big deal. Which is funny because Jeremy Johns, because he is actually so honest with his reviews, he doesn't get invited to those parties. So it shows you that, it is a thing. Like, people who are too honest about how they feel about movies will suffer because of that. But on the other hand, Jeremy Johns is also like the most popular reviewer on YouTube because he is honest. So, it just depends on who you're trying to appeal to. Are you trying to appeal to the actual people out there, or are you trying to appeal to the higher ups and things like that? So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, speaking of ridiculous, bringing it back to this as a whole, I do think it's ridiculous that GameStop and somebody over at that corporate office was like, we can't have this. We can't have this final send-off, for Game Informer, and just totally nuking the entire X account because of it. It's like, we must.
If you've walked into a GameStop recently, I hope they have their farewell message written, because they're going to need it soon.
I'll tell you this.
I walked into my local GameStop a couple of weeks ago. The air conditioning was out. Ooh. And they had giant air conditioning units on the sides of the freaking desk. And my editor walked into that same GameStop like a week later. Same thing. Still one of the air conditioning units had broken, one of the aftermarket ones, external ones, and they hadn't fixed that either. Like that's the state of GameStop right now.
A building where a bunch of gamers, frequent is not good to lose their AC on. For sure.
Define bunch.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I haven't been to GameStop in years.
No,
years.
All right. Well, you guys obviously have a lot of thoughts on Game Informer, which is cool, including Mercenary. Says Game Pro, Nintendo Power, EGM were great reads, and I missed them. Game Informer had a 1-year free sub, and I forgot to renew and didn't bother to renew. Thanks. Appreciate that, Mercenary. Normal Man says, celebrating mediocrity destroys all things. Yes. And Mercenary came back, says, Game Informer was a 99-cent brand, Nintendo Power. Not even discount Walmart. Great value EGM. Man, talk about being total douchebags about even saying goodbye. Yeah, right. Thanks, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Flickerbox came in with this massive $20 super chat. Says, I've been in the movie industry for over the decade, and I can confidently say that AI has the potential to surpass current human writers. Sunspring, Zone Out, It's No Game are some notable. Interesting. Thanks, Flickerbox. And Doronis came in with the 5. Says, generative AI will be the least impactful application of machine learning. Automation and optimization will be more important, but behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of good things that can be used with AI. I know that like you can eventually you'll be able to get to the point with AI where it can detect like cancer cells that are starting to form before they even start to actually become a problem. And like AI, I think medically especially can be used for a lot of really good things. So yeah, I definitely don't have like the doom and gloom outlook on AI. I think that there's going to be a lot of good things, but with with every technology, there's going to be ways that it's going to be used for bad. There's going to be ways that it's used for good, and it's that's just the state of human beings that are in control of technology and how they use it. So
I just hear hyperbole. I don't think it's what it's cracked up to be. I think a lot of it is smoke and mirrors, personally, right? A lot of this rhetoric we heard around like the 15,000th iteration of VR. Where's that now?
Right.
Oh, we're going to be able to conduct surgery with VR. How's that going? That was in 2012. They were making that big push. Like what? Any minute now, folks. Any minute.
Right. Everyone's gonna be walking around with their virtual reality glasses on at all times.
I wish some of the stuff people wear on their face now actually looks more retarded, but yeah.
Hey, Rimdog came in with the $20 Rumble rant. Says AI is for now a tool. My favorite painter, W.A. Bogaro, was one of the first to use photo refs. Today's cartoon stars Crash Banday. I mean Kamala. Hold on. Kamala, X handle Rimdog 1138. Thanks, Rimdog. Appreciate that. Okay, interesting stuff. All right. Thanks for the cartoon reference and everything. Also over on Rumble, Matt came in, says, you mentioned the start of digital purchases. According to Thor at Pirate Games, worked at StarCraft 2 that he worked on earned less than the first paid horse in World of Warcraft for $15. Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. And Valkyria came in, says CNC Red After had a great soundtrack. Thank you very much, Valkyria. Appreciate your support. Sigrun also came in, says Boomer Quanger is a beetle, a stag beetle specifically. You're welcome. Thank you, Sigrun. Appreciate that. And Mercenary came in with the 10, says Morning Razor sent another game. So what inspired insanity are we're gonna be dealing with today? I'm glad that my retirement fund pulled out of the stock market 6 years ago. Nvidia was one of them. Well, thanks, Mercenary. We got a lot more insanity to talk about along the way. Mercenary also said, speaking of AI, did you see the Kamala rally? No joke. I swear I saw a person standing still with a sign and another with 6 fingers in one hand and 4 on the other. I'm telling you, AI is already here. Thanks, Mercenary. And
is that the guy from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, or was that no? No, the 6-fingered man is from Princess Bride. That's right.
I was gonna say what?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of AI, did you see there's a freaking I predicted the freaking future when there was the SAG after a strike or whatever. That I predicted video game voice actors would be next.
Oh yeah,
and it looks like that's gonna happen. That was like in September of last year.
Yep. You know, I talked about that the strike that they added into the video game side. I was actually I was at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, right as that was going down, and I mentioned this on the show, but I overheard a prominent video game voice actor who everybody has heard, like everybody's heard, and he said, he's like, yeah, we're pushing against them, but we're probably not going to win. The developers have too much sway. And he was kind of like, it's just a dog and pony show, really. He didn't really have a whole lot of faith in what was going on right there.
Right. What do we want? Any acknowledgement whatsoever. When do we want it? Within a reasonable time frame. Right.
That's right. And Flickerbox also came in and says AI has already been used for short story films such as Scraps of Mechanical Souls. Thanks, Flickerbox. Appreciate that. Interesting stuff. And then we got this. Razor, I think you should read this. This is from, you should do this as Norm Macdonald.
They say that if you're afraid of homosexuals, it means deep down inside, you're actually a homosexual yourself. That worries me because I'm afraid of dogs.
Thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. Take down. Good stuff. All right, let's go continue on as we progress through today's insanity. This actually may not be that insane because it's something that we all have known for a long time. But it is official. Google is a monopoly. It has been a year of court. The U.S. judge said Google has a monopoly over search. And this is something that we all know, right? There's alternatives. There's DuckDuckGo. There used to be Yahoo, and all these different things. But for the vast majority of people, Google is the monopoly.
Do you guys remember Jeeves, was it called?
Oh, yeah.
Jeeves,
Yeah.
Web Crawler. Anyone remember Alta Vista? Anyone?
Mhm.
I don't remember that one, no.
Yes. Let's go into this really quick. A federal judge declared that what many have known for years, Google is a monopoly. Specifically, it has monopoly over online search and the search text ad market. If you use Google in the past few years, you know that it sucks. It once felt like magic, a search engine that would quickly take you to wherever you needed to go online. But in 2024, the old magic is done. Relevant search results are buried under ads and worthless AI answers scraped from Reddit. This 286-page ruling issued by U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta on Monday helps explain why Google has no competition in search and doesn't need to appeal to customers the way it would in a competitive market. The judgment is a result of a year-long showdown between the U.S. DOJ and Google. It is the biggest antitrust lawsuit since the DOJ went after Microsoft 20 years ago.
And it's happening for the same reason. They want to get paid off, and then this will go away.
You
They're
think
not
so?
going to break up Google. It's not going to happen. The same thing is going to happen to them that happened to Microsoft, right? In fact, Joe Biden was one of the people who has a famous quote about this. He was one of the people who pushed for the Microsoft antitrust hearings. We just want them to come to the table. That's code for bribe us, and we'll go away. So the more they lobby, they're basically saying Google's not lobbying enough. They're not spending enough on lobbying. So Microsoft, who had not been spending anything annually really on lobbying in the late 90s, suddenly after the antitrust hearings, they spend tens of millions on lobbying. That's all they want. The politicians want to be paid off.
What's interesting about this is Google is lobbying not with politicians, but other tech rivals to be the default search engine along the way. So as pointed out in this article, it says, in exchange for revenue share, Google not only receives default placement at the key search access points, but its partners also agree not to preload any other general search engine on the device. These distribution deals have forced Google's rivals to find other ways to reach users. So basically, Google pays huge sums of cash to every other tech company, including rivals like Apple, to keep itself the default search engine. Being the default engine gives it dominance when serving ads. It uses the ad money to pay to keep itself the default search engine, and so on and so on.
And it's such a bad search engine. As a complete aside, it's just such a terrible search engine. You never find what you're looking for. 90% of the time, it's suppressed. If you look for someone that you like and Google doesn't like them, they take you to websites that are defaming that person, right? Or they do this all the time.
This is I knew it was bad, but seeing the figures here, Google enjoys an 89% share of the market for general search engine search services, and 95% on mobile.
It's very
devices.
intimidating.
Holy moly! Bing only has 5.5%. DuckDuckGo and Yahoo have less than 3%.
Yeah.
This is Yahoo, man. Yahoo was a king in the late 90s.
And Bing is owned by Microsoft. It's not like it's withering competition.
Yeah.
So the question is, what will happen here? Razor, you're obviously pessimistic of anything actually happening, the idea of breaking up Google at all. Do you think that's something that could realistically happen?
No, they're not going to break up anything. This is a cycle that's repeated itself over the decades. The politicians want to be paid. They get paid by lobbyists. When corporations get too big and they're not paying enough in lobbying, I am a little surprised because Google does spend a lot of money on lobbying, but they're spending it in the wrong places. They're not bribing the politicians directly. That's what they want. They want to be directly bribed by them. And then you get this kind of feedback loop where they're lobbying the politicians to pass regulations, and those regulations and higher taxes, Google has no problem paying. What they do is they keep competition away. This may actually wind up hurting like DuckDuckGo and smaller people like that a lot more than it hurts Google, because they can afford to pay the high taxes. They can afford to pay the regulatory fees. That's the whole point of this lobbying scam.
Do you guys Josiah, do you use anything like Brave, like the search engine Brave, or any other alternatives outside of Google? I mean, Google has just become a verb. Hey, did you Google it? You know, it's just action, right? Nobody says, did you DuckDuckGo it, or did you Yahoo it?
Right.
You know,
right. Yeah. No, I mean, I pretty much use Google for most things. And you know, I mean, funnily enough, I use X for a lot of things as well. If I'm trying to find information about something, I go to X a lot, actually. So I appreciate that there's a lot of decentralized stuff on X and a lot of decentralized information, which is very helpful. But this whole like lobbying thing that you're talking about, it's funny because that's even happening here locally. There's a lot of conflict that's happening in my local area about like weed and having the ability to have weed businesses and all of that type of stuff. And there was a town hall meeting that we had. It was 2 weeks ago. There's a guy in our area who has a lot of money who wants to set up some weed businesses in the area. He went to one of these town hall meetings, okay? And most of the people that are on the board, they're very much against the whole weed thing and all that type of stuff. They don't want to have anything like that in the area. This guy showed up with $100,000 in cash, and he waved it around in front of all these people. He literally took out $100,000 of cash and waved it around in front of all of these people. And guess what? Now suddenly they're starting to think, you know what, maybe some weed in the area wouldn't be so bad. So right. it happens even on local levels. It's crazy.
Yeah. And of course that's a whole government thing because we don't have legal weed in this country. We have government dispensed weed and government taxed and regulated weed. Which actually creates more laws that get people more likely to be arrested for over weed, you know, not paying the government for it, not taxing, whatever.
So I actually use DuckDuckGo, but on my phone, because there's the DuckDuckGo app. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty shitty. Anytime you clear something out and you go and search something else, it'll just hit search and it'll just clear it all out for you. And you have to constantly retype it. I always have that glitch. And I have DuckDuckGo on my tablet as well, but I also have Google on my tablet. And honestly, Google just works better. It's unfortunate because I would rather use DuckDuckGo, but they just aren't. They don't work that great. Constantly having to retype everything in, it's just not worth it.
Well, we'll see if anything comes of this. Will it come? It's interesting to see that the ruling has been made at all. The idea that Google is a monopoly. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, everybody realizes it, everybody knows it, but I'm glad that it's now actually recognized. The question is next, what's going to be done about it? And as you guys said, probably nothing. Probably nothing.
Kind of depends on who gets in the White House a little bit, because Kamala's the big snatch people's patents, hyper regulate, hyper tax, that kind of person. And that would play into Google's hands. That would make them more powerful because then they would really kill off their competition.
Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens here, man. This is messy. As a gaming newfie came in with a $50 direct donation, says if you really want to F with big corporations, deregulated the economy. Let the market deal with corruption. By the way, I'm making myself to start calling it the market and not capitalism. The godless commies called it that first. Godspeed, gaming newfie. Thank you so much for that incredible support. Genuinely appreciate that. That is outstanding, and hopefully enjoy.
Hope you see lots of boobs today.
That's right.
You live longer.
Yeah, and not like dudes at the beach or anything.
Or not back boobs either.
Right. I got to lose 30 pounds. Razor, relax. All right, just.
You remember? Hey, Craig, you remember the professional wrestler Abdullah the Butcher?
Of course.
How he had those man boobs that wrapped around his back.
What?
He looked like a melted candle.
Yeah.
Ew.
Big boy blabs. Neon Suspenders came in with a 5, says if it happens to Google, they're going to do the same thing as the Bell companies. They'll reform it in 20 years and become AT&T again. Tale as old as time.
But Bell and AT&T aren't even like at all the same.
Well, AT&T is still a giant corporation. I mean,
yeah. But I'm saying like Bell is Canadian anyway, so I don't think they really match, do they?
So, is Bell a Canadian company? Because
Bell is a Canadian Network provider.
Well,
I used to have it when I lived in Canada.
maybe we're not speaking of the same companies.
Maybe we're talking about two different bells.
Yeah.
Ma Bell was broken. That was one of the few cases where a monopoly was broken up. And actually, it wound up hurting the consumer quite a bit because the company that it was before was way more efficient, actually, for consumers. And it kind of screwed everyone on their phone service. But that's one of the few cases where the government actually broke them up because there was so much political pressure to do it.
Normal Man says, now that Google is a monopoly, how much money do you think the government will extort out of Google for the privilege of being a monopoly? Right.
Yep.
Thanks, Normal Man.
Yep.
Gajillions. I'm going to invent a new word. Dillion.
Dillion.
$1 billion.
Speaking of, really quick, there was I like to play the Price is Right game. And chat, this is for you as well. You guys are the 5th chair today. So if I was to put a number of the amount of revenue that Google made, right? And I guess 2021, this is from the article. So this is 4 years ago. The amount of money that Google made in 2021 alone. Let's play the Price is Right game. Labs, you're up first. How much did Google make in 2021?
$15 billion.
$15 billion. Josiah?
Oh man, I'm gonna say probably $800 billion.
$800 billion. All right. And Razor?
Yeah, I was leaning more toward in the 500 billion range.
Okay. Well, Google pays billions of dollars every year. This is now, I'm sorry. I misread this, but whatever. Forget what I just said. I was dumb.
Whatever.
This is silly. Hold on.
Craig's reading skills. Strike again.
What did we talk about before Stream Razor?
Nothing. Wizarding World. That's what we were talking about. And you're driving
Craig's
skills.
reading at all.
I was like, I thought I had this nailed. I was like, listen, this is going to be a great game.
Yeah.
Forget all that.
It's like Biden reading a prompter. Listen. We beat Medicare.
That's
Fine.
right. Okay, let's play another game. How much money did Google spend to stay at the top of people's to maintain their market dominance with being the default browser and on devices? How much money do they spend? Let's play that game. Anybody? I'll tell you.
We're like, we don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah,
$26 billion. There you go.
Wow.
I'm out. I'm done.
wow.
All right, finally, look at that. Every Tuesday, we just kick out Craig. It's fine. But, there you go. Hi, guys. Look, we're still Three's Company. It's fine.
Shut up.
Oh.
All right.
Amazing.
That's okay. I'm just going to laugh at your stupidity. Mercenary came in, says, you think nothing will change? I wish you can see what I see. There's a change coming. We will see it soon, and we will end up with a better world. Thanks, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Well, I hope you're right. Lampshade just says, I just want to say domestic booty. That is all. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. That's wonderful to hear. And Matthew says, my nephew caught me pleasing myself. He was spooked, and I said, someday you'll do it too. He asked how I knew that. I said, my arm's getting tired.
Oh my god.
Thanks,
Damn.
Time to go.
okay. Let's all just take a breath here. All right, let's just relax. Okay, so
I know how we can fix this with Steve.
Developers. Yes.
Yes. Developers.
all right, thank you. All right.
You can always save everything.
Let's go to the most ungrateful person you'll meet today. And for that, let's go to FaZe Clan. Are you guys familiar with FaZe?
Gosh.
Anybody familiar?
No.
FaZe Clan is a giant esports organization. It's very big business, and they have a number of personalities associated with their group that they
depending on your definition of personality, yes.
Well, this person we're talking about goes by FaZe Lacey. FaZe Lacey. Now, he is a streamer, and I just want to point out this is the pinned tweet that he has on his profile right here. What a cool guy this guy is. He's exactly.
And he's got the matte paint job and everything.
Mm-hmm. And he's letting you know. FaZe. He joined FaZe Clan in May. Well, he's
Nothing
off to
more masculine than having your car painted like a Tonka toy. Yes.
Good stuff.
He looks like a Lacey for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I wish he looked like a Lacey Peterson.
He's been spending a lot of time in Japan as they went. FaZe Clan. This is tough stuff. FaZe Clan went to Japan, and they had to create content while in Japan.
Oh man,
tough stuff. And he wanted to let everybody know in his latest stream that he has it tough. He has it tough, guys. And with probably one of the most asinine minute 29 seconds you're going to hear in your life. This is 20-year-old FaZe Lacey.
Brett the Hitman Hart, the junior high school years.
Yes. As he's going to deliver just a passionate plea about how hard his life is compared to your normal life.
Bro got to fly to Japan and is complaining about his job. Bro, here's the thing that you don't understand. You guys act like, oh, my job is so easy. Streaming is so easy. Oh, you get to do all this cool stuff. Here's the thing.
Yes, it is.
I genuinely.
What's that, Razor?
Yes, it is. I stream like 5-6 hours a week. Yes, absolutely. It's easy. It's very easy.
So he's already on the you don't even understand how hard it is to fly to Japan.
Yeah.
You don't understand. All right. But it goes even deeper, like how out of touch this kid is.
I genuinely think that streaming is harder than an actual job. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Go ahead and laugh at me. Go ahead and laugh. I'm going to tell you
well,
right
you
now
can tell who never worked an actual job before.
No kidding.
Right. Tell me somebody who's never married ketchup at Applebee's before, or actually gone out and picked up trash in their spare time. To clean up the kitchen or whatever it may be at the restaurant they worked at. Or
come on, guys, look at that little spindle stash he's got going on. He can't even afford to raise her. It's fine. Like these are hard times. These are hard times.
Tough times. But let's go continue to see how tough he has it.
Right now, why streaming is harder than a normal job. Tell me it's not harder to have to fly 17 hours all the way out to Japan, have jet lag, be tired. Then when you get here, you have to walk around in the hot sun, 100 degrees.
You have to walk around?
Bro!
Poor guy.
Okay, this I can't speak on because I've been there. Yeah, it's a long flight. It's a long flight. Sleep! You fix the jet lag. That's problem solved. Problem solved, bro. Oh, you got a free flight that's like several grand now.
Yeah, I bet you he was sitting like first class or something.
Yeah, you poor baby. You had to sleep for a long time.
So, I was actually, since I booked a flight to Japan recently, I can say going with the cattle in the back is already a couple $1,000s. First class, you're probably looking at 10 grand. So this guy needs to shut up.
I'll tell you what's hard. You ever hear the story of Andre the Giant flying to Japan?
No.
Yes.
I'm sure he didn't have fun with it.
No.
He had too much beer and dropped a giant deuce in the bathroom, and the whole flight for 8 hours just rolling Andre the Giant turd smell wafting through the recycled airplane. Oh, man. Holy crap.
Listen, this is not parody. This is a real, and watching this again, this is more embarrassing than I actually thought it was.
Wasn't there a streamer who said it months ago how streaming was hard? I forgot who it was, but there was somebody last year who was like, it was so hard.
As pointed out, David points out, what about, of course it's a hot sun.
No.
Cold sun.
Wasn't it Ninja that was saying that?
Yeah, it was. Oh, they're saying Hassan. Okay, yeah. But
Yeah, it was.
I mean, let's be real. All these streamers, for the most part, morons. So
yeah,
I think part of the requirements to be in phase is a moron. I think you gotta check that off. Yes, I am a moron. Let me in.
Right. Let's go continue. And like once again, we're not even to the worst part of this whole thing.
Oh
Look,
boy.
No.
Yes, he has to fly on a plane all the way to Japan.
It does suck. It does suck. It's not fun. But here's the thing: that plane eventually lands, and then you get to a hotel room and you get to sleep. It's fine.
And then Razor, then he has to get up and walk around in the sun.
He has to walk around. Yeah.
In another country.
Let's go.
This man. Let's just point out this man sits for a living.
Yeah.
Right. The steps are hard. We'll continue. Yes, but the jet lag. You're right. All right, let's continue.
Then when you get here, you have to walk around in the hot sun, 100 degrees out, sun beating down on you. You're sweating, you're tired, you're hungry. And then you have to stream yourself like shopping for clothes and going shopping for like 6-8 hours a day, bro.
Holy shit.
Oh
my god.
Fun.
I mean, to say like people facepalm all the time. Oh, that's embarrassing. He's going to look back on this and he's going to be so embarrassed by this 90 seconds. Whether it's 5 years from now, whether it's 10 years from now, whenever it is, he's going to look back.
Bro, as soon as he gets old enough to have a serious health problem, he's going to be like, wow, I'm shitting blood, and I was complaining about walking around buying clothing. Like, what is this?
Rough stuff. Well, let's continue because we're not even to the worst part yet.
Like, that's genuinely hard compared to working a normal job where you...
Okay, now let's play the game. How many hours is considered a full-time job? Josiah, you're up. Traditionally,
well, yeah, I mean, like 8 was what it's supposed to be.
8, 9, somewhere in that range.
So how many hours a week?
Like
40 minimum.
40 generally.
40.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what his definition of a full-time job is.
All right.
Where you just go in for like 6 hours every day, because normal jobs work 30-hour weeks, 6 hours a day.
See, he's never worked a real job in his life, dude. You can tell.
Never even. I mean, my God.
Holy shit.
I mean, it's so embarrassing.
I am almost fully on board with the idea to have people require a license to buy a webcam at this point. Like, I gotta be honest. It's like, there should have to be like an audition. All right, are you talented enough to own a webcam? All right, go.
Oh man, as there would be something, and this is Defender X is right. Says if this kid, if that kid thinks streaming is hard, then my job as a farmhand is a breeze. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If FaZe wants to create some content, they need to create content around their personalities working actual real jobs. That would be brilliant.
It'd be a documentary. It'd be so funny.
It'd be like that show back in the day with Paris Hilton. Back in the day, was it The Normal Life, where they took him and they put him on the farm, and they're like, "What is happening?"
Yeah,
I mean, brilliant stuff. Let's go.
I used to do like 12-hour days working on ranches and stuff. I think he needs to stop talking.
When I worked in the factory, I worked like 12 hours a day.
Dude, tell somebody who works in an Amazon warehouse
about those are brutal.
Are you kidding me?
You can't even use the bathroom at Amazon.
I'm embarrassed for this guy. We're like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And Stay at Home Hippo says, I feel bad for any girls who actually date this FaZe kid. Go on a date streaming for him. That's right, man. That's tough. And as Matt Hatter says, Blabs is going to Japan, right? She'll have to let us know how genuinely hard it is.
I will let you know how hard it was. The 10 to 12-hour flight and then walking around in the sun. I'll let you all know.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, you should do like a parody on this video after you go there.
It's so hard. But then
You
watch
should,
me get
actually.
roasted for people actually thinking I'm being genuine. Like, what a baby.
I can't believe I had to be around people out in the sun. I had
In
to,
another country.
I had to go to a store and exchange money for goods and services. It was ridiculous.
Horrible stuff. And it's Flickerbox out here doing the impossible, by the way. I spent 28 hours a day on set for shows like the X-Files and countless hours working on productions I wasn't passionate about, like Twilight. Flickerbox.
Oh no, you had to work on Twilight. Listen, everyone put F's in the chat for that.
Zach, FaZe Clan is a joke. Dude looks like Brett the Hitman Clark.
I thought he looked like Baby Beardo.
I was thinking like, I don't know, like Mike TV.
Right.
Like.
Listen, Chic My Wingaling says, I'm a mechanic in South. I think that's right. I'm a mechanic in South Carolina. I'm working in the heat and humidity 5 days a week, 9 to 6. And to be honest, I see what I do as moderately hard. That's right. Hey, appreciate that. That is excellent. And thank you for what you normal men doing normal jobs. That's great. Let's go to continue.
6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 30 hours.
5 days a week?
Oh my gosh. He's doubling down on it too.
Oh, he's like, you guys are so stupid.
Bro, 5 days a week. What?
Yeah, hilarious.
Jobs work, 30-hour weeks, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 30 hours. And then you have the weekends off. Like, you guys have to understand, it's way harder to stream. And then I have to go around and mog everybody, bro. And I just walk around in public, talking to people, mogging, just like trying to interact with people. Like, it's hard to have
no,
those
you have to
social
be an
skills compared to
obnoxious
having
douche
normal
for a
9 to 5
living.
job.
Oh, man, that's rough. As opposed to your daily schedule of being one for free.
Oh my gosh. It's so hard. It's so like it's hard for it's harder for me to watch him talk like that than it is for him to stream on a day-to-day basis. I promise you that. It's so unbelievably embarrassing that I can't even get past it.
I would love to see him say that to like a plumber in real life. that'd be amazing.
Yes.
My job is so much harder than yours.
Make sure the plumber is holding his wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a plumber. You only work like what? Like 20 hours a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What are you gonna do? Twist some stuff around, like stop the water? What are you gonna do?
Try walking outside in the hot sun.
It's so tough, man. You gotta buy stuff. Like how freaking embarrassing. Oh my god, it's crazy. Wow. Wowie zowie. That's really all you can say. You can very much tell that this kid is 20 years old.
Sheltered.
Never had a real job. Never had to wait. Never worked in the service industry. Never worked on never had to actually go out and like. Do you think he could actually stop or like clean a toilet? Do you think that he could know how, like, legitimately know how to do these things?
Right.
Oh man, 10-1. This is a kid who, if he wasn't doing this, probably is a trust fund baby. Like on the side, like he probably doesn't even really need to work. He's just doing this to become wealthy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know how you can look at that and be like, yeah, I relate to that. Yeah, I like that. I like his attitude, and I can't imagine FaZe is like behind what's this the sheer pompous arrogance associated with this kid. But
when you think of rich spoiled brat, that face is immediately what you think of. So yeah,
found him. There he is.
Yep.
There it is. Brett the Hitman Shark. All right, let's go.
This is our future, the youngsters of the world.
Yeah.
Aren't we excited? Please clap.
He's of legal age to vote, folks.
Right.
Woo! We did it.
Yay, we're fucked.
All right. Let's get this from Hayden. Says, I spent 12 hours a day, 14 days in a row, occasional overtime in the desert, then 5 days off. One of which is getting ready to drive back and work and trying to find time to make YouTube videos during it all. That's right, Hayden. you're going hard, man, which is great. And then we have, let's see, JM says, worked 12-hour days in the Texas sun, spent nights in an RV and with 6 smelly dudes with no AC. And now I too get paid to sit at a desk and play video games. It's yes, and drop the EDP dot glasses. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Good stuff. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's Razor, I know you got to bounce. You got another interview you got to be on, so we'll give you the opportunity to bounce. Do we have any super chats or anything for Razor that you can see in there, Blabs?
Let me see. Nothing on locals. I got scroll. Oh, here we go. Perfect day. Raise a fist on the show and seeing Alice Cooper tonight. There's that. Thank you. Scroll. I'm reading real fast because Craig can't read. Okay.
We do have
David says, Razorfist, thank you for wishing me up a decade ago.
For wising you up. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, wising, wishing. Guys, I can't read.
Sorry, who can't read?
Still you.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Thank you, Craig and Blabs, for keeping common sense weirdos like me informed. Can't stop listening to Wasp Razor's fault. Razor, what's the most underrated mech in BT? Raise hell, praise Kel, and Godspeed.
For me, it's the anvil. I like the anvil.
There you go.
Thanks, Natalie. Appreciate that.
I think I got them all. I think.
All right. So, Razor, we'll give you an out, buddy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Then we're going to turn our attention to Josiah here in just a minute. So, Razor, tell everybody where they can find you, all the good stuff you got going on.
Thank you, fine folks. Twitter.com/razorfist with a 0. YouTube.com/C. Not C in the Hispanic sense, but C, the letter C /the Rageaholic. You can find me pretty much everywhere. And of course on Failbook and all the accoutrement. Thank you for having me. It was good to meet you, Josiah.
Good to meet you too, man.
And Godspeed to everyone.
All right.
See you, Razor.
Have a good day, buddy. We'll see you.
Bye.
All right. You can find the links to everything Razor talks about in the link below. Thanks for Razor for obviously hanging out with us here on a Tuesday. Always great to have Razor. Appreciate you guys hanging with us as we have more to. We're still going hard, man. We're still going hard today. We got a lot going on. We do have all of your super chats, which we're going to get to here in a little bit, including Alan says, shout out to Flickerbox TV. I worked 8 hours a day on Modern Battlestar Galactica. I had to watch this show all day. So hard, JK. I love that project. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate that. And Flickerbox gave in says, fun Twilight fact. Kellen Lutz accidentally punched Jackson Rathborn during a fight scene rehearsal, resulting in Rathborn suffering a mild concussion and needing to be taken to the hospital. Let's go, Flickerbox. And now we know.
Interesting, but I don't know who those actors are.
Well, now you
know.
No,
I know they're Twilight actors, but I don't know who's who. Like, I've only seen Twilight once and I was 25. I survived my youth.
You did it.
I did it.
Khalib came in says to offer some nihilistic hope. All this is modern versions of things that happened millions of years ago. Did you know that the Babylonian Empire, yes, that one referenced in the Bible, it had equal rights between women and men. Thank you, Khalib. Appreciate that. Wonderful support. All right, let's go keep on moving on. We have some more stories to hit outside of fucking asshole, the Lacey kid. Real quick hit here. Gamescom is coming. Blab's like, we should probably mention this, and it's 2 weeks away, so we will. Gamescom is happening in Germany. If anybody's in Germany and wants to go to Gamescom and report for us, please let us know. It's coming soon. Coming up here in just 2 short weeks. Maybe one day we'll get a chance.
3-day event.
Yeah, Gamescom's been around for a long time. It's been, it's a big deal. There's Gamescom. There's obviously there's the, what is it called? Tokyo Game Show over in Japan, which been to a couple times. Really, really great stuff. One other quick hit, which I feel like it's important to reference. Kotaku has chosen somebody else besides me to be their editor-in-chief. Now, before everybody gets too upset, I did apply for the Kotaku editor-in-chief position. My entire platform was the idea of hire me and everybody else will quit, right? I will help you clean house. We will start this over. We will rebuild this brand. Apparently that message wasn't good enough, as I didn't receive a callback. I didn't receive an interview. I didn't receive anything. But I'll tell you who did. Austin His name is Austin Williams. And now he follows me, by the way. He is the new editor-in-chief of Kotaku. I did not know who this person was before today, but now Austin has seen my message as he is following me. I have not been blocked. So I congratulated him on becoming the new editor-in-chief of Kotaku. And I said, instead of talking about you, I'd rather talk with you. So I like to publicly invite him on Side Scrollers and to talk about his goals and vision for the brand, which I think is the right way to do it. I don't really want to talk about him. I'd rather talk with him. But I will say this. Anytime you are the head of a brand like Kotaku, you've put yourself to be out there. You are a public figure at this point. People have doing a little bit of research, basically just like looking on his website that he has available to him. And you would think that the editor-in-chief of Kotaku would be a hardcore video game player, or at least play video games occasionally. And if you were to go to his website and actually search the various topics that he has written about, because it is a collection of all of his work that he's done. And if you were to search under the games tab, you would find that he has written 2 articles about video games in his time. Here are the 2 articles that he written about. And if you do a little more digging on when these articles were actually written, one was written in 2018, right here. This is the article right here, 2018. And the other article was written in 2018. So the editor-in-chief of Kotaku.com last wrote about video games 6 years ago. So I just wanted to point that out.
That's pretty bad.
So
that's pretty bad. What has he been up to?
Well, I think as opposed to talking about what he's been up to, I think it'd be better to actually have him on the show. So, like I said, the invite is out. He follows me. I'll DM him later because he now follows me, and we will see if we can strike up the conversation, because I think it'd be great to learn his vision for this.
I mean, I found his a website of him, and he's got stuff, but like none of it's actually video game stuff. It's music. He's talking about music in a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I'd like to invite him on to get his thoughts and to see if if his idea of cleaning house is a reasonable one, or if my idea of cleaning house is a reasonable one. But he did previously work for Geo Media, so he was an internal hire. They didn't go outside, which you'd want to promote from within. So hey, it is what it is. Good luck, Austin Williams, the new editor-in-chief of Kotaku. I think he's also based out of New York, which I think is also a very big deal because I'm not willing to go to that hellhole. So there's that. So anyways, well, I'll DM him and see if he'd like to come on the show. I'm sure that would just really shit out of their writers if he was to appear on our show. But like I said, I want to have this conversation in good faith. I invite everybody on the show to actually have a good conversation, which I think is very important. So
I hope he takes you up on that offer.
I doubt he will, but we'll see. I am very sad. I have entered an immense layer of depression since being rejected for the Kotaku editor.
You wear it well.
Thanks.
You can't tell.
I know, it's tough stuff. Let's go and continue. Josiah, you have been, I've not followed the story in depth, right? So I'm going to lean on you very heavily here. Blab says you have followed this pretty in depth. We've seen creeper stories over the last couple weeks, and this has been a reoccurring theme as Chris Tyson over at Mr. Beast. He's obviously the biggest bullseye when it comes to all this stuff and the just absolute disgusting nature of his predatory actions and him hiding behind his various identities and the shield associated with that, his non-apology associated with that. And Mr. Beast's channel, obviously 330 million subscribers, but there are, and I say smaller channels with only 1.5 million subscribers, which is still a very large channel, that have also the sunlight being the best disinfectant here with a person called Lex, Mr. T. MrTLexify. Is this name correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we're talking about this person here. Now, just by the look of this person, I would say probably high suspicion level when it comes to like, if I saw this person walking around, I would not let my kids go anywhere near this person.
Yeah, you would shield your children for sure.
Yes. Yeah,
yes.
you'd walk in front and be like, I don't think so. So give me the high level of this. Who is this guy? What's his claim to fame? And how did he garner 1.5 million subscribers first and foremost?
Okay, so MrTLexify is a zombies YouTuber who's been involved in Call of Duty Zombies for a very long time. I think he started in 2012, if I remember correctly. It was kind of around when Black Ops 2 was a kind of really popular.
Okay.
And he started out by making like top 5 videos. So he would do like top 5 like guns in the game, top 5 bosses, enemies, all that type of stuff. And he blew up pretty quickly. And then when Black Ops 3 rolled around, he just kind of skyrocketed. And he became like one of the biggest in the zombies community. I've been watching his videos ever since Black Ops 3. And as far as like a content creator goes, he's really talented. I think that he's probably one of the most talented in the community. Just as far as his editing style goes and his kind of the humor that he brings to his videos and all of that type of stuff. And he was highly regarded in the community. I've been a fan of him. I was a fan of him for years. Maza is another big zombies YouTuber fan as well, especially of people like MrTLexify in the past. And well, we got some shocking news recently about MrTLexify. Now, all this started to come out because he got wrapped up in a controversy around one of the modded maps that was being made for Black Ops 3, which was based on a map called Transit, which is a really popular map in the zombies community. And so he got kind of wrapped up in some controversy around that because it basically turned out to be a giant scam. And he decided to release this video where he was more so defending the scammers than the community who were pissed off that they got scammed. And it was pretty ridiculous. He got ratioed really hard on that video. He turned off the comments because he was getting destroyed in the comments. And then when all of that started to break, all of that controversy, other news started to come out about MrTLexify as well, including from his ex-girlfriend, who decided to spill some dirty details about MrTLexify and things that he has done to her in the past.
Now, this is this person right here.
Correct. Yeah.
Pures of Thai. Ren.
Yeah, Pure Softy. Yep.
Oh, Pure Softy. Pures of Thai. Pure Softy. Okay. Pures of Thai. I was going for the articulate approach to it. Pure of Thai. Okay, so Pure Softy over here is the former girlfriend of this person, and she came out and she said what?
Basically, she told the world that she released like an entire document about it. She's released videos about it and all that type of stuff. The videos are very disturbing because she was under the age when they started to interact and when he became her boyfriend. And it's I would say that it's more than that because he wasn't just a boyfriend. He was straight up her abuser in every way possible. She was from California. He's from Canada. and like every time that he came to America to California, because they had like this thing called the Z House, where a bunch of zombies YouTubers would spend like a couple months during the summer hanging out and making content together. They did their second Z House in California, where he would take her to hotel rooms. Mind you, this is when she was still a minor. And he would press her for spicy things and stuff. He would try to take her virginity and all of this crazy stuff. And it eventually got to the point where it turned violent as well, where he would where he would literally like be choking her out, and at one point he almost like literally like killed her by doing this. And he turned to be, and he kind of got exposed as a master manipulator, because he'd never told any of his Z House buddies about this whatsoever. He never told them that he was, dating a minor. He never told them that he was he actually even forged like fake IDs for her that showed that she was 18 on these IDs, so that he could kind of keep this whole thing under wraps, that he was doing horrific things with a minor.
Right.
So he would go to California every once in a while. He would get like a hotel room for them to hang out in, and he would always try to like press her for doing things that she clearly did not want to do, according to her. And eventually he was able to he would like literally like do things like get her high, get her on drugs and all of this type of stuff as well, get her drunk. So it was a horrific thing that he was doing. And one of his buddies, the Smith Plays, released a video recently talking about this as well, where they had literally no idea that any of this was going on, and he was basically lying to everyone about what was going on with this whole thing. So
this guy's like grooming this girl, right? He's dealing with a minor here, like trying to do all sorts of weird, inappropriate things. He releases there's this Google Doc here that's 30 something pages of his. Like, well, okay, give us like, because
hers was 70 something pages.
Right. So what comes first, his 30-page doc or her 76-page doc?
He released his first, and he also released he did like this whole like Snapchat log that he released as well, and that was
disturbing.
Brutal. Yeah. And so he's okay. So let me just make this clear as well. Everyone in this situation is a piece of shit. She's a piece of shit as well. She is a psychopath. All right. And she has done terrible things to him as well. But keep in mind that he was the adult in this situation and for many years. Okay. And right. So that's I put the blame on him in this over her more so for sure, especially when she was a minor. And so he released his document where he alleged all this stuff, and then she released her document that contradicted a lot of the things that he was saying in here. And not only that, but she actually provided videos and pictures and the chats and all of that type of stuff that disproved a lot of the information that he was saying in this document here. So
you read this and it says, my story starts off with me being a 15-year-old fangirl. I went to the Z House meetup in Santa Monica. Dude, I'm sorry. Like, where is this girl's parents? Like, why are you letting a 15-year-old girl go to this like weird?
It's awful.
So
the mom let this child get away with everything, and texting Lex, like, I'll let Josiah do, but it's like, wow.
It also appears that she does not have a dad in her life whatsoever. And that's pretty evident, I would say.
Right.
A lot of the things that she is talking about here. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's the whole and like their whole relationship has has gone on for years and years and years past her even becoming an adult, and even during that time, like one of the things that like they texted to each other was something like she texted him and said that, you know, she would no longer be like his minor girlfriend in a couple months or something, and she was kind of sad about that and stuff, and he was like, well, you'll always be my minor or something like that, and it was just
awful.
It was disturbing. Not only that, but he's also been caught messaging other minors as well, so it wasn't just like a one-off thing.
I can't deal with this shit. I can't deal with this shit. Like these people, like, I look at this guy's Twitter profile now, right? And this has clearly been a big thing. He hasn't posted on his YouTube channel in a couple weeks, right?
Right.
Now it appears he's hiding behind like the cross now. Like, is this a thing where he's got it? He's like, oh, I've sinned, and he's got the cross in his.
Okay.
You know, like,
so he's been kind of doing this like Christian thing for a few years, and while he was doing this like outward, like, you know, Christian virtue signal thing, behind the scenes he's like choking out his girlfriend and messaging minors and stuff. So it's pretty obvious that it was kind of like a virtue signal, like shield almost, you know. And yeah, I mean, he's definitely using like this kind of Christian outward appearance to try to paint himself as some sort of good guy. And not only that, but he has just tried to make himself the victim in this entire thing. He's never said that he was wrong. He never said that he apologized or that he had any sort of remorse whatsoever. He put all of the blame on her for everything, even when she was a minor. So yeah,
I can't deal with people. I can't deal. Like, once again, just I don't care. You hide, like, as pointed out in the chat, like he chose the wrong shield, right? He probably should have put on a dress, and everything would have been all right, right? Like, man, just fire up that wood chipper and just start tossing people in, man, in Minecraft. Just toss them all in and let them go in Minecraft, and let them leave in Minecraft, because this is. I can't deal with any of these people. I can't deal with it. Like, these people are, at what point? And that's, I think there's a larger issue associated with all this stuff, right? There are people. He was an adult, legally speaking, when this happened, and when you have some sort of notoriety, right? Could you imagine being 18? And he goes back to this FaZe Lacey kid. He's 20 years old. Never been told no. He has the world at his fingertips. Been given trips to Japan and so hard. When you're given all these things, you don't have any real. You haven't learned how to live. You haven't learned how to not be fucking weird. Because when you're like, you see this in Hollywood with child actors where they're pampered and catered to. You see this with YouTube as these kids grow up and they become stars before they even know who they are. And at the end of the day, like, these people are just messed up. They're messed up. They're broke based off of the success that they've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was like I said, he, like, during Black Ops 3, he was blowing up like crazy. He had the whole world at his fingertips, and I think that a lot of situations like this, when you have that much power and you have that much like influence, I think that it amplifies the best and the worst in people. And I think that is one of these situations where he probably thought that he was like untouchable, you know, like, and he could do pretty much anything that he wanted and he would be okay. She was actually a fan of his before all of this went down.
Of course.
So,
of course.
Yeah. So you know, that's just another one of those things where he's like, oh, well, I can take advantage of the situation and do whatever I want here. So yeah.
There's videos on these. Like, I got to be honest. I have no interest in like sharing these. Just
No,
as like
they're bad.
Really, yeah, and it's disgusting. And I got a bar, and this passes that bar in a major way. And that bar, the next step above that is finding their way into that machine. Tell you what,
yeah, I honestly think this is like worse than all the other scandals we've witnessed, because like the mom didn't say anything. This girl got like he slept with her, guys. It's not like nude pics or DMs or anything. He slept with her multiple times. And then didn't she, like when she was older, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't she turn around and then go with like a minor? Is that what I'm understanding? So she also is a groomer, right? Like she became the groomer also.
Yeah.
Like this is worse than Chris Tyson, and it got buried because of Chris Tyson. But this shit is nuts, guys. Like it's disgusting. And I looked at the document, 74 pages. Listen, I'm quoting Galadriel here. You have not seen what I have seen. It's awful.
It is
awful.
It is. Yeah, I agree. I think that this what he did went beyond just like Discord. Like he actually like took her to hotels, got her drunk, got her high, so that he could diddle her. I mean, that's literally what this guy did multiple times.
We always tell our kids not to judge a book by its cover, right? We always say, hey, listen, you gotta look beyond the physical appearance. Sorry, not doing that.
He ruined bucket hats.
Yeah, and you ruined it for everybody, Blabs. I swear to God, if somebody takes this picture and photoshops Blabs,
why would you say that? I'm no groomer. Don't do that.
Oh my God. Well,
this whole thing makes me just sick to my stomach, especially being like someone who was a fan of him for years and years. And he was one of the people that I kind of like was inspired by to do YouTube as well. Like, and it's a massive gut-wrenching betrayal to everyone. Like his friends are betrayed, like his the Smith plays when he made his video. You could tell that he was like trying to hold it in because he was just completely shattered by this. His fans have been betrayed, and it's just sick, man. I can't even comprehend why someone would ever want to even go down a path like that. It's sick. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, correct. As Flickerbox says. So should I give you a recount of the thousands of the same sex stories in the music, TV, and movie scene? What I know is wild. YouTube is no different. The answer is absolutely. You should absolutely come on our show, and we could do a giant expose. And by expose, I mean just talk about it. You can tell us all these things allegedly that may have happened. I think that'd be fun. Thank you, Flickerbox. Yeah,
I don't know how fun it would be, but I feel like at least we'd get the story out there.
The tell-all, the tell-all stream.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really disgusting. And I'm like, just like I says, I feel bad for the big fans who were like really after him for years and years and years and were loyal to him. Josiah, Maza, they all came crashing down these last few weeks. You could tell how disappointed people were. I mean, can you imagine someone you look up to, someone you think is so great, so amazing, only to be an actual monster behind the scenes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it wasn't even just us being fans. Like we as a community went to bat for MrTLexify and a lot of other times in the past where he had other controversies, or like there was a time where I think YouTube almost like was going to take down his channel for something like that, if I remember correctly. And we all went to bat for this guy, like so we put ourselves on the line for this guy, and then it turns out he's just a sick freak. So, and I mean, it's almost at a point right now where it's like, okay, who's gonna be the next guy that gets exposed? Like, because it's just like nonstop at this point. It's wild.
Well, something to keep in mind is it really just comes down to to numbers, right? The idea that you have hundreds of thousands of people on YouTube that are creating content on a day-to-day basis in these little buckets. Just the numbers associated with that, just statistically speaking, these people, there's these assholes out here, right? And they should be exposed. They should absolutely be exposed. Why can't we all just be normal, man? Like, that's not normal. Don't be like that. All right. Thanks for sharing the good news, Josiah.
That is important to tell and get that story out there, saying, hey, there are a lot more of them than you think. And it's scary because it could be anybody.
I think the biggest message with this is, and Josiah, you're an adult. Maz is an adult, right? You guys are adults. You grew up watching this person, right? But if you are an adult, you should still keep an eye on what your kids are watching, right? Because you never know. Because you just never know, right? And it's, for God's sakes, don't take them to a meetup.
Exactly.
The mom is disgusting. Like, she was texting MrTLexify going, oh my God, she's got a school report, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, I know. I hope she does so well. And it's like, whoa, why are you texting? She's in high school when you're texting her. Oh, it's disgusting.
Have the school report.
Yeah,
and,
it's disgusting.
Yeah. So, I mean, like what when I take my kids to like a park, like they never leave my eyesight. Like I don't let my daughter have sleepovers at random people's houses. We've never even ever like hired like a babysitter that we don't know, because I'm just like I don't want to put my kids in that situation. I don't even want to entertain that something like that could happen, because you never know. It could be anybody, like sometimes these monsters can disguise themselves very well.
I never had a nanny or a babysitter ever because my parents didn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
For my sister and I, they're like, no. And like the one time they did have a babysitter for us, like either myself or my sister had a giant bump on our heads when they came home. They're like, what the hell happened? Oh, she hit her head. So my parents are like, nope, never happening.
Yep. It's you have to protect your kids, especially in like this day and age. Like there's so much perversion out there, so many just sick people that are lurking and just waiting for an opportunity, and you have to protect your kids.
Protect them kids, y'all. All right. We got some support to get to. We appreciate y'all's super chats today. We're going to read them all off. But I would like to remind you guys, we'll be back, or I will be back in about 2 hours from now. We have a special occasion today at 3 o'clock. We're going to be speaking with a former EA. This is crazy, right? Once again, we hit he worked for all three of these companies, EA, Microsoft, and Wizards of the Coast. He's going to be joining us at 3 o'clock today on a special occasion where we're going to sit down and chat. We're going to start over here on YouTube and on Rumble. We're going to end over on Locals. You can find that by going to sidescrollerspodcast.com. Make an account now. Just beat everybody to the punch. It is free to do so. If you want to support over there, you can, but you don't need to. But we're going to start over on YouTube. We're going to end over on sidescrollerspodcast.com. So just a heads up, that'll be at 3 o'clock today. And it's going to be a special thing, which, like a special interview. Looking forward to doing that. Is a gentleman who saw a lot of change in the video game industry and ultimately left because of all the insanity that we've seen. So make sure you guys tune into that here in just a couple hours. With that said, Blaz, fire away. What do we got?
And when he says 3 p.m. set, he means Central.
Always.
That. Yes.
Is there really any other slot?
I mean, literally all the other ones in the world. Anyway, Locals. Spoon Ninja for $1 says, watch Maggie instead of Conan. It will confuse you. Like Maggie Smith? I love Maggie Smith. Anyway, Spoon Ninja also says, Suno AI had way too much understanding about what Soylent Green is. Back to the grooming tower also. Me either, but there are a lot of massive people you never hear of that people talk about. Thank you, Spoon Ninja. And then he follows up saying, if you don't click the tips off, it does it automatically. What are we talking about? I don't know. Anyway, Master Gala says, you want great chiptune music. Zillion for SMS. Victus says, I gotta go with Sky Lagoon for X in Mega Man 4 as my favorite from the X series. It was my first Mega Man game, so I'm biased.
All right.
Snake Master says, new TV today, but barely tested. Couldn't miss SS. Oh, hello from the new TV. We're in a TV.
Oh, hey, coming to you in blistering 720p.
Yeah. Short Fat Otaku says, X3 soundtrack was composed by the same woman who did Castlevania. It's a great game. I played the weird Sega Saturn version with anime FMVs as a kid, though. Thank you. David says, look for Rockman X3 one more time. It's the intro song and animation for X3 on PlayStation. It's beautiful.
But I'm sorry, real quick. I have received a response to the invite to having Austin on show. Let's pull that up really quick. This is fun news. We'll slice this together, Blabs, a little bit later. He says, "Hey, Craig, thanks for the congrats and for the sincere invite. Gonna pass for now. Maybe another time. Appreciate your interest in the site, though. Hope you and others keep reading. Give it a fair shake." That's disheartening and unfortunate, but I will keep that invite open, and we'll see how it goes. You know, so unfortunately, our attempt to bridge gaps is not being met. So we'll hopefully one day we'll have the editor-in-chief of Kotaku on. Bummer.
Rip.
Continue. Yes, rip me.
Yeah. All right. Tej says, I thought Blab's job was to drive the FD crazy. Yes. It's part of the contract. Section 4, part
There's
C.
no contract.
Yes, there is.
I was gonna say I don't think you need a contract for that.
No. It's also in my NDA for Josiah on Epic Voice too. It's everywhere. Honey Badger says, like the new name, Blabs. Yes, I am reading Blabs this morning. Master Gawa says, the diversity doctor shouldn't have ended those 3 little girls IRL. Your thoughts on their cultural icon, Doctor Who, responsible for England burning? That's very, very political, but people who don't belong in other places should just go home. Okay, Tsuna says, the secret to no driver's ticket is no whiteness. A witness. Like, what? What? The secret to no driver's ticket is no witness. Wait.
Wow.
Okay.
Whiteness. Wow. Okay, Blabs.
I'm racist today. Absolutely Rudy says, invite Cole.
Are you sure you don't want the Brits to leave?
Are you sure? Like you have some wit guilt.
But witness guilt is showing. Damn it. Absolutely Rudy says, invite Colin Moriarty for the Megaman retrospective. That'd be cool.
Love to have Colin on.
Dev says, X2 Doppler's theme 1 is probably the best of the original Mega Man X trilogy songs, in my opinion. Energetic, really sounds like you are storming the castle. Torga says, welcome to Shit Scrollers, everyone. Rod says, Demon's Crest is one of the best OST I've ever heard on I was about to say Al Capone.
Wow, Blabs.
Guys, I'm really hungry. I haven't had food. I heard on all Capcom games I played in my To be fair, he wrote down all instead of Al and everything. Okay, anyway. The worthy one. Your thoughts on Gunther winning the world title, Craig?
I think it was only as in due time. Rob, how you doing?
Boy, anyway, I need the food. Nate says, as much as I love the 7th gen, the 6th gen is the best generation of gaming devs, took a chance with unique games and cared about what they made. PlayStation 2 for the win. Thank you. Emperor Creatine says, I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Oh, it's bad, all right. It's a bunch of monkey fuck. It's like, what were they thinking? I think I butchered that, but thank you. Grusium says, fake gamer Craig confirmed Winky. Fake gamer Craig. Dorana says, just saw VTMB2 trailer from a few months back. Garbage. Thank you. Play Secret of Mana, Blabs. Maybe. Maybe not. Short Fat Taco says, one of the level designers made a joke about Samus being trans. Activists have clung on to this as canon even after he confirmed it was a joke.
Yeah, it's a
yeah, wow.
Of course, it's canon.
Cold Grin says, great. Now when you ask AI a question, they'll start telling a 25-minute story before answering your question.
Talking about YouTubers, yeah.
Yeah. Norm says, why do AI have to learn from cat videos, AI voice shorts, and Mr. Beast videos? Master Gala says, screw what feminist frequency videos say. Women as rewards were great motivation before feminists made gaming suck. Feminism ruined gaming. That's Pierre over there says, AEW Fight Forever makes Suicide Squad looks like a centennial success. Ubisoft will be sold for IP scrap. They should have believed in Joe Hendry. Hashtag NXT for the win.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Emperor says, the Kuanga part of Boomer Kuwanger is a combination of the Japanese Kuwagata beetle and the word boomeranger. That one hurt to read. Thank you.
Thank you, Bert. Appreciate that.
Hardcore Bunny says, we already had AI generation like in Daggerfall or Diablo 1. Problem is, Google and China are using to steal content to create a product. It's theft. Mercenary says, I think the crowd at Kamala's rally was all CGI. Seagrun says, another bit of trivia. Boomer Kuwanger and Gravity Beetle from MMX3 are brothers.
Interesting.
Matthew says, if a woman is forced upon, but the offender says, first rule of improv, you can't say no. Does that woman have to oblige? Oh my God. Next. Matthew says, big Hassan Piker energy from Gaze Clan. Phase up. Mr. Melancholy says, this is one sheltered and pampered brat. How's Phase even popular?
Man, I don't know.
That's a great question. Yeah.
Norm says, I've been flying to Europe since I was 4 years old. No problem. Streamers complain about how hard streaming should get a smack to the back of their head. Oh, yeah. Uriah says, any broke would love flying over to Japan. Oh, yeah. Anyone who will never get the option, totally down for it. Absolutely Rudy says, Lacey is a Melanie McWitch. Neon says, wait, I have to shove my arm up this cow's ass? Yeah, right. Rebound says, worst week I ever had when I did 84 hours work week as a security guard. I quit some weeks after. That job sucked and the paid worse. That sounds awful. My gosh. What's embarrassment? Your sunglasses look dumb on you anyway. Looks like you're going out snowboarding with those. Streaming is not hard. No, it's not. Thank you, Dan. Flickerbox says, Mr. Beast third-party investigators are lawyers seeking loopholes, a common Hollywood tactic to protect interests.
Yep.
Crispy Chicken says, going back to Mega Man X music, the side-scroller's intro sounds like the Armored Armadillo stage on Mega Man X1.
That is exactly what it is.
Adrian says, Matthew, 18.6. And then Flickerbox says, I am game to talk shop. Need to make time, though. See, that could be a very interesting stream. I feel like that would be like a Locals or a Rumble exclusive, just in case YouTube is like, nah.
I agree. Hey, Flickerbox, when you find time in your schedule, reach out to me. You can send me a message on Discord, email, whatever. We'll let you do it. Brad came in with a $1 direct donation. Says, well, if it isn't the real BBC herself, blab-bearing collector. All right. Anyways, well, what does Razor think about the Aerosmith retirement? I'm sorry, Brad. I didn't get a chance to ask Razor that. That's my fault. I didn't know Aerosmith was retiring, but makes sense. Delta says, have we never had a female vaulter with some double Ds in the Olympics or even at the national level? Speaking of representation, of course. Delta, I cannot confirm or deny.
I can confirm that most trackies do not have big boobs because of how fit they are, that it actually stops their growth. Like, because they do it from so young, like gymnasts. So, no, they would not have double Ds. Like, on the Olympian level, obviously. Yeah.
Okay. Gravity Hurts picked up the brand new Normal Man t-shirt. Let's go. You guys can pick that up. Link is in the description. If you guys haven't yet, go pick it up right now. Normal Man with the Side Scrollers logo on your right sleeve, looking all sharp. Proclaim your normalcy. Pick it up right now. Link is in the description. Thank you so much, Gravity Hurts. Delta Quebec says, it's funnier if you ever watch the podcast, The China Show, where they cover how 200 women stream and do advertising in a small building for chump change when esports streamers like Phase Boy here complain about things, right? And then he followed up, says, it just occurred to me that depending on how Nvidia trains its AI off of YouTube, it might be bipolar of all the YouTubers that slowly devolved into nutcases such as Review Tech USA and Boogie. That's right. They're not the only ones for sure. Stickerbox says my X account is Roguestar13. I'll hit you up. Yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Send a tweet my way. Let's see. Rusty says, Craig, I attended SGC 2019 dressed as a frumpy solid snake. I snuck behind you. I'm sorry for pointing my airsoft pistol at your face. Poor taste. Well, thanks, Rusty. Appreciate that. 15 years ago, I was really upset, and I forgave you. Thank you, Rusty. Appreciate that. And Mr. Melancholy says, put the creep in a bond of hippos in Minecraft. Of course. Thank you very much for that. And
we have a meme, by the way.
So let's see the meme.
Hey, Road Bucket Hats, you have done that yourself, which I'm going to fight against. I have actually brought Bucket Hat back and make them classy.
Mm-hmm. No, you're not. Jared says, I work 50 hours a week in the Ironworks foundry. I would break off extra iron on the castings with the sledgehammer. This kid is pathetic. That's right. Thank you for that, Jared. And DFK Mongoose says, I take no pleasure in wood chipping, but when done righteously, it is just a chore, just like any others. Practice hands make short work, and the good Lord knows there's much more work to be done. Thank you. DFK in Mongoose right there. And then finally, Master Gawa came in and says, I hope Blab survives her trip with her innocence intact. Blabs is too pure for Japan. Tentacles are how they say hello over there. That's not true. It's not true at all. Thank you, Master Gawa. All right.
Fake news.
Do us a favor and let everybody know where they can find you, friend.
Yeah, you can follow me on X, and I have on my YouTube channel, Josiah Rises. You can also go check out Epicverse YouTube channel. It's just Epicverse, and we have a weekly show that we do over there with Epic Mike and a few other people. We usually have some guests on as well. Usually Fear to the Beardo, Jake the Viking are there too. So, yeah, and we just talk about current entertainment things, and we open it up for people to ask questions about Epicverse and all that good stuff as well. So thank you so much.
All right, love it. Obviously, best of luck with all your projects, man. It's outstanding, going after it, which is great. You guys can find Reeing Blabs over on her YouTube channel, and once again, you'll be able to find me here in about 90 minutes when I'm back at it again. I'm gonna grab some lunch, start doing a little bit of prep, and we're gonna be back talking at 3 o'clock. We're going to start over on YouTube and Rumble and end up over on Locals. You can go to sidescrollerspodcast.com, make an account right now. Once again, it is free to do so. We're going to start the stream over here and end up over there about an hour in. But we're going to be talking with a former employee of EA, Microsoft, and Wizards of the Coast. It's going to be a really fascinating conversation. I look forward to seeing you guys then. With that said, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you guys shortly. Remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them use. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Thanks, Kite the Twin Blade. Appreciate that. Way to finish up right before we finish up. There we go. People are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.